Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sumit and I'm here with one of an exciting video in Salesforce integration today. So in today's video, we will dive into an exciting and highly practical Salesforce use case. And the topic is how to integrate two Salesforce org using triggers, or how to make an HTTP callouts between two Salesforce org using trigger. So this functionality will be used for seamless data integration between Salesforce org. And this is very crucial for businesses that operates across multiple environments, whether it's synchronizing the accounts, it's syncing the accounts, contacts, or any other critical data. So having real-time communication between org, it enhances efficiency and keeps the system in harmony. So before I begin and tell you more about this today's topic, today's video, you might have gone through my one of my previous video, which I have already uploaded in my YouTube channel. And that video was that how to connect two Salesforce org between HTTP callouts using flows. So basically, what are we trying to do here? We'll be trying to follow the same functionality. The only difference is in that example, in this video, we have implemented or we have created a flow in Salesforce in org A, and with the help of that flow, if that was a record triggered flow, and whenever we create a record in one org, it will copy that record, it will create the similar account in org B. And that functionality we have implemented or configured by using flows. So in today's video, we'll be going to implement the same thing, but this time instead of using flows, we will be going to use Apex classes. The reason of creating this video is recently I come across with a requirement from the users in one of my projects, and the requirement was if we would like to migrate, if you would like to move bulk records, more than 50,000 records, or more than 1 million record, or 1 lakh record, or hundred and thousands of records. So how do we do that? So that we would like to achieve by using batch Apex classes. So we would like to implement that by using batch Apex classes, or I just wanted to implement or configure the similar functionality by using trigger. So that's why I decided to prepare this video for you so that I can share my learning and my updation on this. So in this tutorial, in this video, I will guide you to set up a trigger in org A in order to automate the data syncing on org B. Now, if you have already gone through my previous video, which I have prepared by using flows, in that video, I have explained how to create named credentials. So, so these concepts we have already configured. How do we set up a connected app on org A, on org B, sorry, configured connected callback URL. How do we set up org B on org B? We need to set up auth provider, external credentials, name credentials. We have to assign the external credentials to user using permission set, and then we have created the record trigger flow. So for this video, you have to configure the similar steps once again, except this record create triggered flow. So you have to only skip the record create triggered flow. And apart from that, you have to set up your org A and org B. On org B, you need to create a connected app, configure callback URL. Then on org A, you have to set up auth provider, external credentials, name credentials, and this. So now I'm going to demonstrate, I'll show you how do we create a trigger and an Apex class. And from that Apex class, with the help of that Apex class, how do we move the data? How do we create the record from one org to another? And in this case, we'll be using the name credentials, which we created in this video. I will share the link for this video in the description below. If anyone you haven't configured that previously, if you haven't watched that video, if you haven't tested that, kindly watch this video, configure this, and then proceed with today's video. So let's proceed. For this, let me switch back to my Salesforce source org. And here is my source org. Let me switch to my source org. So here is my source org in on which I have set up my oath provider, as you can see. So the oath provider which I have configured here is org integration oath provider. And this oath provider will be mapped with our external credentials, which I have used as a Salesforce external credentials, which I have used here, org integration oath provider. And as you can see, it has configured successfully with my Salesforce org, with my target Salesforce org. And here is my target Salesforce org. So this is my target Salesforce org. And in this target Salesforce org, I have created a connected app, and I have already configured the callback URL, which I have received from the org one. So let me switch back to org one, my source one. And here I have already created a name credential, and this name credential will be using the external credential. So now I'm going to proceed, and we will be going to create a trigger. And before creating a trigger, we'll create an Apex class, and then we will be going to invoke that Apex class from the trigger. So for this, first of all, let me switch to my developer console. And in this developer console, I will be going to create an Apex class. So let me close this. And so I'm going to create a class here. I'll just create new Apex class. And let's suppose the class name is org b integration class. That's my class name. Org b integration Apex. That's the name of my class. And in this class, I will be going to create a method. Let me create a method in this class, but this in the method which I'm going to create, that method will be a future call out method. So I declare that as a future call out is equals to true. Then I'll create a method here, public static void create account, uh, public static void create account on org b. And this takes a list of accounts, so list of IDs from the trigger. So here it is going to pass the IDs, the newly created record, the account IDs from the trigger with the help of the trigger, and from the trigger will pass all the account IDs to this function. So I'll just create a try. I just create try and catch for the exception handling. It's always a best practice to handle the exception. Reason because we will be going to make an HTTP call out. So it's always a good practice to perform the to manage the exception handling. So system.debug exception in creating account plus ex dot get message. And that's my try block ends. And in this try, I'm going to fetch list of ID, list of accounts is equals to select ID, comma, name, comma, phone, comma, type, comma, industry from account where ID in account IDs. Now I'm going to iterate on this. So for account ACC colon accounts, and we will be going to add records one by one, which we have retrieved into this account list. So we are going to we will be going to prepare the request. So I here prepare the request, and in order to prepare the request, I'll use HTTP request REQ is equals to new HTTP request. New HTTP request. REQ dot set end endpoint. Now here the interesting part is, instead of setting up the endpoint directly, what I'm going to do, I will be going to call out the named credential. And what's my named credential? So my named credential is Salesforce named credential. So this named credential I'm going to use here. Salesforce named credential slash services slash data slash version 60.0 slash s objects slash account, because I just wanted to add a record into account object. So here I set my endpoint req dot set method, and the method will be post method. Method will be post method. Save this. Let's try to solve res. It should be req requesting. Req dot set endpoint. Method will be set method. Req dot set header content type comma application JSON. And what's the problem? Why this? No error here. And now I need to map the data. So for that, I'm using map string comma object account data is equals to new map string comma object, and I'm going to map the fields like name. Name will be acc dot name comma industry acc dot industry phone acc dot phone, and type acc dot type. And yes, I want to add a description also. So I just write here description, and the description, I set the description as account from org A. So this is the description I set. Let me save this. And now we need to make a request. So I just write req dot set body JSON dot serialize account data. And now I wait for the response. So now I'm going to make an HTTP call. So HTTP is equals to new HTTP, and HTTP response res is equals to HTTP dot send req, and we'll wait for the response. And whenever whatever the response, that response we store into res. And I'll just check here that if res dot get status code not equals to 201, then I want to display an error message. So system.debug, or we can generate logs also. Error in creating account in org B, and plus res dot get body. And if there is no error, else, if there will be no error, then system.debug account added successfully in org B. This is just to check. That's all we have to do. This is our Apex class. Now, in order to run this Apex class, I will be going to create a trigger. So I'm going to call this from I'm going to run this from a trigger, and I just give the trigger name as create account on or B trigger. And this trigger, I just want to trigger, I'm going to trigger this on account object. And the method which I'm going to use here is that is after insert. After insert, and I just create list of ID account IDs is equal to new list of ID, new list of ID. And whenever, if we have multiple records, if we have updated multiple records, if we have inserted multiple accounts, so it is going to fetch all the records and store the IDs into the account IDs. So account IDs dot add a dot ID, a dot I account A colon trigger dot new, and list of ID account IDs is equals to new list of ID. That's the way we created a trigger. Now it's time to test, and in order to test it, I will be going to create one trigger, or I will be going to create one record on account object. Okay. I'm getting an error here which says get status code. So res dot get status code, and sorry, my bad, it's a function. Save this, and now it will resolve the errors. Now we don't have any errors. Now I'm going to test it, and in order to test it, I'll switch back to account object, and I'm going to create a new record in account object. So now let's test it, and in order to test it, I'll get back to my account object. You can see this is my source Salesforce org account object, and I haven't created any record this week. And let me show you the target org account object. So account object, this is the target org, and right now we don't have any records in org B also. So now I'm going to create a new record into account object in org A, and I just write here, let's say account in org A. Phone number as 123456789. Type I set as installation partner, and the industry I set as banking. And you can see I haven't passed any description below. It's a blank description. I'll just save this record, and you can see the new account saved successfully with blank description. But now let me quickly go and check. This is my target org, and when I refresh, you can see a new account added here successfully. Exactly the same name, account in org A. And we just check the detail. The phone number is same, the type is okay, banking is okay, and the most important part is it created a description account from org A. And this is the same description which we gave in our Apex class here, which we gave in our Apex class, account from org A. So that's the way we that's how we create a record into another org from org one. From whenever we create a record into org A, the same record get created or replicated in org B by using trigger. So we can implement the same functionality using a batch Apex class, or we can automate this process based on the business requirement. So that's all in this video. If you like this video, you can post your comment in comment box. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel if you haven't done so far. Keep watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.